Hey everybody out there in the internet world, and welcome, finally, to my 96 Dark Avenger comic book review. Finally, after so many damn delays with these comics. That means only 4 more to go. I seriously have to start firing the people that do this. I seriously do. So only 4 more comic review episodes to go, and then I hit my 100th episode. I am totally, completely looking forward to it. This week, the comics were a bit late, and that's due to 3 things. Mike actually reminded me of the 3rd. 1, the hurricane. That slowed everything down. Midtown sent everybody messages saying because of the hurricane, everything's going to be shipped late. You know, they apologized. Great bunch of people anyway. Also, Labor Day was Monday, so nobody was moving nothing on Monday. And finally, that big clock you see behind me? Yes, that's the thing that slowed down my order. A word to the wise, especially to people who order online. Triple check your shopping cart before you completely check out. Because I put that in my cart saying, I could use a new clock, but then I changed my mind. This is before I put the comics for this week in the cart. I put the comics for this week in the cart without noticing that that was on the bottom of the list. I now have a wonderful new back prop, but I could have saved the money. That does explain why the comic amount, with the money of the amount of money I spent for these comics was a little bit high. But anyway, still a nice back prop, and it's something from mine and Amber's house when we get it in the future, something for the kitchen, because I love pizza and it's always pizza time anyway, and Michelangelo is one of my favorite turtles anyway. Alright, the comic books I'm reviewing in this episode were released on August 31st, 2011, the last week of August. Ironically though, today is September 7th, 2011. And the comics I'll be reviewing for September 7th, for those of you who didn't know, September 7th is Wednesday, those are going to be reviewed on Saturday. This review, please, the second I finish recording it, thank you Mike for finally being home, I'm going to be going straight to my computer and uploading this. Hopefully it'll only be 1 part long, and it'll be up. It'll be about 4 days late, but it'll be up, and then everything will go back to normal starting this Saturday. Okay, first off, next week, since we're in this week now, Thor is coming out. X-Men First Class is coming out. Looking forward to seeing both of those on DVD. Hopefully I'll get my hands on those 2. I'm waiting for Smallville to come out though. I'm going to get them out all in a 3-set bunch. Also, thank you Midtown Comics. I wrote them a message about the mix-up in the Action Comics covers, and they actually sent me the incentive cover, no extra charge, with this week's order, and they told me to keep the other one as a way of them saying they were sorry for the mix-up. Midtown Comics, once again, awesome place to buy from. I would absolutely say. That's where I get all my comic books. Also this week, my new superhero collection statue is... Actually, let me turn the magazine so it faces you. Saint Walker. Originally, I was going to buy the Orange Lantern Larfleeze for 2 weeks from now. Unfortunately, he sold out due to the fact that Midtown Comics had a wonderful sale and sold out on a lot of their statue or figurines, whatever you'd like to call them. So I'm going to have to look for him, and I also have to look for this one because she is not in Midtown anymore either. So, and also now the Black Hand went, but I don't give a shit about the Black Hand. He can go to hell and die. I don't really like him anyway. Okay, so let's get into this week's comics. What?
Also, the other news about Superman's new costume.
Oh, God bless you for reminding me of that. It fucking sucks. It looks like somebody ate the original layout of Superman's costume, digested it, shit it out, and there's your costume.
And no underwear.
You seriously focus on underwear too much.
Well, that was the main thing.
Dude, the whole costume fucking sucks.
Well, yeah,
it sucks balls. Wild. The movie's gonna suck. It's gonna make Superman Returns look like gold. The end. Although, I gotta say, that guy Henry, however you pronounce his last name, does look a lot like Superman. Just the costume fucking sucks. And so will the movie. And I don't even have to make a prediction about that. I know it's gonna suck. And so is the new Spider-Man movie. But let's move away from movies now, shall we? Yes, we shall, because I can't fucking take it. Okay, comic books this week. Remember, August 31st, 2011. Just throwing it out there, Sonic the Hedgehog 228 came out. Genesis is Pendulum issue. Next issue is coming out in October, and it's the last issue. Sonic breaks away from his friends here and goes after Eggman himself with Tails. That's a briefie for those of you Sonic fans. You will be reading this already. For those of you who aren't Sonic fans, you won't be reading it. Also, I forgot to mention, as of next week, this is the last episode, not as of next episode, Michael zooms in on all the comics. As of next episode, that is going to stop. Due to the fact that he's reviewing books, I'm reviewing books, Joe's reviewing books, and it's going to be more of a roundtable review until we can figure out a way to get everybody on one side of the camera. So, if worst comes to worst, we might have to put the camera on a tripod. Mike will still work the camera, but it'll be on a tripod. So we won't be able to zoom in and out because nobody's going to be behind the camera anymore. I'm going to have to get a timer, but all our cell phones have timers, so that's not a problem. So the zoom-ins are going to stop after this episode, most likely, because I don't think... Mike, Mike, you have some this week, unless Joe watches the camera. Everybody's got something to review.
I don't know. We'll see when it comes to it.
New comic. Straight from IDW, Transformers 24. This is Chaos Part 1. Now, what I didn't know, when you're done zooming, Mike, is that this was not the first issue, though, of Chaos. In the back, IDW was very nice. They gave a checklist. And this is another thing I don't like, which I'm going to explain in a minute. In the checklist, it turns out that in July is when Chaos truly began. Because in July, Transformers 21 was the prelude, Transformers 22 is Chaos Theory, and then August was the second part to the theory and the first part of the prelude, first part of the actual one, which is this. This is what I don't like. This issue is considered Chaos Part 1. The next issue, which I'm getting actually this weekend, is the first part to Last Story on Earth. The 26th issue is the second part to this. So we have to wait. I have to wait 2 issues for the second part of this. And the dog's barking, but that's okay. We ignore the dog. And also they have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles advertisement here. So in this issue, Galvatron is on Cybertron, and something's going to happen, and he wants the Autobots to join him in fighting for Cybertron, because something's going to hit, and even Megatron, who is right now the Autobots' prisoner, knows something's up, but they don't know what, and they're debating whether to side with Galvatron or not. They don't know what's coming, and then in the very last page, while they're debating, because Galvatron leaves, because there's a fight between Rodimus and Galvatron, which causes a huge fight, and Galvatron retreats. This happens over Cybertron, to be continued in 2 issues. Really don't like the fact that it's 2 issues. I'd rather they keep it steady like there are. I know there are 2 Transformer titles. I wish they would have just combined them for that, or made a separate tie-in to it, so this way you don't have to go from 1 issue and you got to skip 2 to get to the next part of the story. Also, it's cover B. Issue 25 also is cover B. Cover A sells out really fast. I really don't care. It's the story on the inside that matters more than the cover, as long as I have it. So I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to keep buying it. I believe they're leaving Earth, and something big is going to happen. My prediction is Cybertron is going to be destroyed once and for all, like completely destroyed. We'll see where it goes. From Boom Studios, The Traveler, number 10, guest starring, you guessed it, Soldier Zero. At first they don't get along. It's the same thing as all superhero team-ups. First they don't get along, they fight each other, they think each other's villains, they find each other like they think they're each other's villain, and then they end up teaming up together. Averis comes from the future, and apparently he's a good guy now, and he's saying that they have to destroy the Inheritors because the Inheritors are trying to steal something from the Earth, and that's causing all the time fluxes and things are going to get worse. Also, Averis warns that the Averis in present time might be on their side or might be against the Traveler and Soldier Zero. And also, Averis gives him back a memory of Julia. Big shocker though at the end, because now it's up to them to stop all the time skips and everything. Soldier Zero gets affected with the time thing, and he's starting to speed up. And Soldier Zero creates Traveler creates a time barrier that stops that, and somebody shows up in the last page. Is that Julia? We'll find out in issue 11. I like it. I love the Traveler. Traveler was my #1 until I started reading Soldier Zero, and then Soldier Zero jumped to #1. I love Traveler and Soldier Zero. Starborn, it needs work, but it's still really good. But I like Starborn and Traveler the most. Soldier Zero and the Traveler the most. As time goes on, we'll see if Starborn gets a bit better. It's slow paced. That's the problem. Finally, this week from Image, not finally out of the the other comics companies, Haunt #17 finally comes out. Apparition is going after both of them because he knows that Kurt's brother has no. Kurt, who's Daniel's brother, has no spark of life. So in exchange, Algeria, I hope I'm saying her name right, gives Kurt her spark of life. So in other words, now the apparition is no longer going to go after Haunt, it's going to go after Algeria. And she wants to die because she claims her powers have transcended this realm, and she wants to die and move on. And of course, they try to stop that. Doesn't happen. Spoiler, she gets consumed by the apparition leaves. Another spoiler, the last page was the biggest. Herg is found we all know Herg escaped and everything, but it turns out that he's killed in the last page, and a new villain is being mentioned, Cobra. And then they show you a bit of new artwork because Greg Capullo is going to DC for the relaunch, so he won't be drawing Haunt anymore as far as I hear. I'm still looking forward to the next story. Hopefully it'll still be awesome, even though it's only art, I know, but still. I like Greg Capullo's artwork, and I'm hoping that the story continues on very well without his art. Maybe he'll come back at some point, I don't know. Now we're going into the big two. First thing I'm throwing out there is the thing I talked about in my one of my vlog videos last week. Hawkeye. This is it in the bag. This is what it looks like outside of the poly bag. I didn't like it. I didn't find the issue interesting at all. It's all about people making the mutant gene for themselves, and Hawkeye's like this Black Ops guy going in to stop them. Only reason there's two is, one, this is Michael's. Here you go, Mike.
Oh, thank you.
And two, we were checking because in all the poly bags for all the Ultimate Universes, at least for Hawkeye and Ultimates, 100 copies of Hawkeye and 100 copies of the Ultimates have Stan Lee signatures on it. We didn't get lucky. Also, the fact that the certificate of authenticity is right on the back of the comic, and you can literally see right through the white bag. Yeah, that kind of gives it away. But I think the Ultimate Spider-Man, which is coming out in 2 weeks, comes in a black poly bag, so that'll make it a little bit harder if Stan Lee, in fact, did sign the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, but I only bought one. I'm not buying more than one. But I do have some Ultimates coming. Those will be in next week's review. I have 2 coming. One will be revealed during the review. I'll have one open, but not take it out until during the review, and the other one I'll do before the review, and so I can read it and review it. A book you do not need if you've been collecting Amazing Spider-Man, and a waste of your $4 if you buy it. Thank God I get discounts at Midtown. Infested Spider Island. This is a compilation of every single mini that was put at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man. This is the entire road to Infestation Spider Island. You don't need this if you've been buying Amazing Spider-Man, and I wish there would have been a freaking disclaimer about that. Marvel knows how to really catch you. I thought this was going to be a standalone issue about something. Who knew that Infested meant the road to freaking Spider Island? Gotta read into these things more. Final issue, Incredible Hulk 635. The Hulk makes the ultimate sacrifice with his last wish to wish everybody in control of their transformations, except himself, of course. Fing Fang Foom shows up in this, and the Hulk and She-Hulk, Red She-Hulk, just beat the crap out of him. At the very end, though, Betty gets one more wish, and she tries to wish the Hulk away from Bruce Banner, but I forgot what the guy's name is. He tells her that the Hulk and Bruce Banner are one and the same. You can't wish them apart, which kind of leaves me questioning, because in the end of the issue, everybody's fine. The Hulk wasn't split. He's still Bruce Banner. you can see Hulk rages and then he turns back into Bruce Banner. Now, I don't understand how Hulk is separated unless it's explained in the first issue of the relaunch next month. So I'm looking forward to the relaunch next month. Also, I like the last page. That was really awesome. But yeah, and that's the end, and then there's advertisements for Spider Island, and then they have the cover gallery of Greg Pak's. These are all the comics he did. He had a very, 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 very long run. I believe in the middle of all these, I have a lot of them. I'm looking through it, and I see a couple of comics I got. And then Hulktober, I don't know why they're calling it that, that's what they say. The Red Hulk is going to be in Hulk of Hulk of Arabia and Hulktober, Hulk #1. We'll see where this goes with the Hulk in Hulk #1. I'm really not getting Red Hulk. I feel the character is unneeded, unwanted, and not liked. I would say check this out, but I'm being honest. When I started reading this, story had already begun. It was like 5 parts before this, so you're going to be lost. But I got it because it's the last issue, and it was very good. There's a tie for Comic of the Week this week from Marvel. I'll do this one first. Uncanny X-Force, number 14. Archangel is now considered like Apocalypse. He's thinking like Apocalypse and everything like that. And he wants the life seed from X-Force. And of course, there's a fight. And actually, there's a little prequel first. And I forget this guy's name all the time. Let me see. Here we go. He just blasts then it goes back to present day, and when they attack, he blasts half the crap out of Wolverine. I don't want to risk showing too much, because it's a little graphic.
Is it Dormammu?
No, it's not Dormammu.
Oh, it looked like him.
No. In the end, though, Archangel gets the life seed, and he gets the world. And X-Force retreats, because Wolverine's down. Deadpool is a little bit of is getting knocked down. They free Deathlock, but they basically escape. But Psylocke stayed because she wants to try to free Warren. And the most I mean it's like whoa part was where Archangel lands in this small town, and a little boy goes, "Wow, you guys are superheroes," and it's a question he's asking. And Archangel bends down and puts his hand on the boy's shoulder and says, "I used to be. But the idea no longer holds meaning to me." He leaves, and that guy this is what happens to the town. That's all I'm going to say. X-Force is awesome and an absolute pickup. I'm enjoying it emphatically. And that's just a few things that happen. You don't know. There's a lot of talk between Betty, Psylocke, and Archangel. A lot of stuff happening in this Archangel saga, the Dark Angel saga. I love it. I love X-Force. I'm only upset that it was announced that they're still doing the pools for X-Men. First of all, Wolverine's team looks awesome when it comes to X-Men. So far on Wolverine's side is Iceman, Shadowcat. 2 of my favorite right there. Unfortunately, though, Colossus and Psylocke are now siding with Cyclops, so Psylocke is leaving probably the X-Force team because Wolverine's going to be in charge of X-Force as far as I hear. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't have the full list in front of me, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I tried, and it's not coming to me. So I'll print out the full runs as soon as they release the last tier, because there's still 2 people in each book they have to announce. It'll be probably announced by the weekend. What tied this for Comic of the Week? The Amazing Spider-Man 668, Part 2 of Spider Island. I don't care what Mike says. This was awesome. The entire island of Manhattan's running amok. Everybody's in Spider-Man costumes, and everybody's causing trouble, and the Avengers are trying to stop them. What they don't know is they were beating up the real Spider-Man, and it took Wolverine's smell, so to speak, to figure out that Spider-Man was the real Spider-Man. And they basically tell him to sit this out because they can't fight all the other Spider-Men and worry about hitting him. So he sits it out, but then it turns out he realizes everybody on the island has spider powers. Hey, I'm Peter Parker. I have spider powers too now. And he's like, we got to band together. He goes on Nora. He finds Nora and puts out an advertisement on the live feed. He's like, everybody has to band together. We have to stop these people because we all have powers. Teachers, everything. He calls everybody basically to arms to stop these spider imposters. And I love Pete from Pete's Basement mentioned the splash page. I want to show it too. There we go. And that's how they charge into battle. And they go and they stop all of the Spider-Men. Reed Richards shows up at Horizon Labs. Anti-Venom shows up at the end. He's trying to cure as many people as he can. It turns out, though, that Madam Web says between Anti-Venom and Venom, both of them are going to be involved in this. But for one of them, their story's over, meaning one of them isn't going to make it out of this story arc alive. My prediction is Anti-Venom. I don't see Flash Thompson dying, especially with his own comic series, so I'm guessing it's going to be Anti-Venom. Also, for those of you people who bought Venom, this is where it started. I don't know why they released this after Venom, but for those of you who read the last issue of Venom, he shows up on the Brooklyn Bridge to stop the spider creature, and it turns out this is where it all began. It started right here, and then it leads into Venom. I don't know why they released Venom so early then. But then again, I guess people can say, ooh, I read that already. So it turns out Carly reveals to Pete that it was the Jack, that they figured out it was the Jackal, and Pete's like, oh yeah, it does make sense after all. And they show up at one of his labs, and they're looking for clues, and it turns out somebody's waiting for them in the rafters. I love the joke, though. You never know when something will pop out, leap out at you. Yeah, something's going to leap out at them, alright. I'm enjoying Spider Island a lot. I like this. It's been a while since I could say Amazing Spider-Man's been amazing. It's amazing. Now all they got to do is get Mary Jane and him back together, and I'll be really happy. Sorry, Carly. Don't like you that much. And Nora's still a bitch. I hate her. She drives me nuts. Everything's about the story, shooting the chaos. She's like, her and James and Jimmy Olsen should get together because he's one that'll stand in front of anything and take pictures. But then again, Jimmy's smart. This girl, Nora, is not smart. She's an annoyance. So I'd absolutely say grab this. Okay. We're going into DC. How much time do we have?
22 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to put this out there now. I know I said I don't like the DC Universe, and I said this in the last video I shot. I am a reviewer, though. I am going to review this unbiasedly, without looking at the past. Meaning, I'm not going to be comparing this new DCU to the old DCU. Because if I do that, basically that's me saying anything compared, this new DCU compared to the old, the one that I've been reading up until right this very second, it's going to suck anything the new DC Universe has. Because I love the old DCU and I feel it didn't need changing. So if I'm going to compare and contrast the new with the old, the new is going to always suck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review this with fresh eyes and open mind, because I don't want to scare new readers away, because this could help, this other than Superman, because Superman is not the way they're writing him. But for these other issues, I don't want to scare new readers away, because for new readers this is perfect. For readers like me who've been around since 1986, this is terrible. Well, not terrible, but this isn't good, because we love the old universe, most of us. Some people wanted this fresh thing, so I'm going to be looking at this with an open mind. So take that into consideration. Don't say, hey Chris, I thought you thought this was going to suck, because I'll delete that comment. I'm going to be reviewing this as if I'm looking at this and it's brand new, even though I've been reviewing this all along as Flashpoint 5. Turns out it was all the Flash's fault. Flash went back in time to save his mom. You guys have heard this from tons of reviewers by now, because this review is late. And he went back in time to save his mom, and that's what caused this entire time rift. So, first, it turns out that because of what Flash did, now the Professor Zoom is released from time, meaning the Flash doesn't have to exist for the Reverse Flash to exist. So, as the Reverse Flash is going to try to kill Barry, this world's Batman kills him. Superman shows up again at the very end, and it turns out the Enchantress is a crazy bitch, and he just stomps the hell out of her, so to speak, and she's destroyed. And basically the fight goes between Superman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman, and the world is basically being destroyed. Flash, it turns out that Enchantress hurt Batman before Superman could stop her, and Batman dies, but not before giving Flash a letter to give to Bruce when he fixes time. Flash runs and meets up with his mother for a heartfelt little talk, and it turns out she's like, let me die. If that's what has to happen, let me die so the world can live, because millions shouldn't die because just for me to live. And then he saves her, and then this weird-ass woman nobody knows about shows up and changes the entire DC universe forever. And the last important thing that happened was the conversation between Barry and Batman, and that's when Batman reads the note. First time ever you see Batman cry. And he's like, you're one hell of a messenger, and he's like, you're welcome, Bruce. And then the New 52 poster shows up. That's the end, guys. This is the last modern day, well, the last, I now have to call it Silver Age DC comic book, which now leads into Justice League #1. I do not have my computer here. I completely forgot, but I will explain. I got the combo pack. I will not be doing it again. First, let me talk about the comic. This issue is only Batman and Green Lantern. Don't let the cover fool you. There is a cameo by Victor Stone, who is not Cyborg yet. This is 5 years in the past. And also, the very last page has a special person, but I'll save that for the end. It turns out there's an alien, some type of an alien robot in Gotham, and that's what brings Green Lantern to Gotham. And Batman's chasing after it already, while the police are chasing after Batman. You all have seen the previews, I'm sure. And they follow after the creature. The funniest part was where Batman got the ring off of Green Lantern. And he's like, how'd you do that? And he's like, you weren't concentrating. And he's like, try that again, and you won't be able to do that again. Batman says, if I want to, I will. But then they meet up with the alien again, who's planting some type of a cube under Gotham. And he announces who the bad guy apparently is going to be for the first Justice League adventure. Darkseid. And they're figuring, since he's alien, this whole thing is like an alien thing. What?
No.
Oh, I thought you were giving me the finger already.
No,
since it's an alien, they're going to go to Metropolis and find Metropolis' own little alien. Yeah. So they show up at LexCorp, which is being, it's in a demolition zone due to LexCorp. And Superman's there, and Batman's like, we should really think this through, you shouldn't go in. He's like, I'll handle it, I can handle him. He gets knocked out, and there's your last page of Justice League #1. Now, for those of you who bought the combo pack, and before you decide to pause this video to get the code, I already redeemed it. In the back cover is the code for the Justice League #1 digital pack. It's very nice. It's not worth the extra $2 because technically you are paying for the digital copy with the paper copy. I thought it would be a nice thing to get for the first issue. First of all, you can't read the digital copy without being online. So if you're somebody who, let's say you're going somewhere and you don't have Wi-Fi wherever you're going, you can't take the digital copy with you. It's only on the DC Comics Comixology shop. You need Wi-Fi to read the book. You lose Wi-Fi or internet connection, you lose the book. I don't like that. From this moment on, I will not be, what are we at?
28.
Alright, I will not be getting this in digicopy anymore. I'll talk more about this in the next episode. Justice League 1 was really good. Slow start, Batman, Green Lantern mostly. Up to you guys. I liked it. Flashpoint 5 was good. Amazing Spider-Man 668 was good. Uncanny X-Force 14 was good. Incredible Hulk 635 ended Incredible Hulks. Stay away from Infested from Spider Island. Hawkeye is up to you guys. I didn't really like it. Haunt 17 was good. Traveler 10 was good. IDW's Transformers 24 was good. Sonic Genesis, Sonic number 228 was, it's up to you guys if you like Sonic, and my variant cover once again. So once again, guys, do I think digital copies are worth it? Not really. I have a question, but I'm running out of time, so I'll put it in next week's in the next episode of my comic review. See you guys on the weekend for next week's comic book review. See you guys there.